There's not a lot I can say about 10 without it being a spoiler. It's one of the big problems with this book, is that you get to a point and you're like, I can't even tell you who the first person is that dies, because it'll ruin it from there. So, but I can say that the killer was always the killer. The person who was the killer in the book never changed, but the body count changed drastically. So
this book is called Tune, T-U-N-E, not T-O-O-N. And it's a book about this art school dropout who can't find a job. And he's going around trying to find a job, and he ends up getting stuck in this world where art doesn't exist. So like creativity itself is outlawed. So he becomes even more insignificant than he was in our own world. And the way in which that happens is he, out of desperation, he takes his job at a zoo, but what he doesn't realize is the zoo is actually another dimension, and he's one of the exhibitors.
For me, every book is kind of taking two disparate things and smushing them together. So until I have that other thing, I'm not really in love with the book. So, for example, with Fault Line, it's a book about dating violence, but until I got the other piece of that, which is kind of the teenage stand-up comedy scene, which has nothing to do with it, you know, I say, okay, how can I take these things and smush them together and build a novel? So, for me, I kind of had to wait and see what the other thing was. And for me, it was, we had just, all the news, everyone was saying, you know, this is the longest war that we've been in. Afghanistan is now the longest running war that the country's ever been in. And I thought about, why are we in this war for so long, and how did we get out of Vietnam, which was happening at the time where the book is set? And for me, it's a very easy answer. It's the draft. So, you know, the kids were in the streets and fighting and not wanting to go. And that kind of drama of being a kid in high school and wondering if your birthday was going to get picked and if you were going to go. So once I got that piece, then for me it was like, okay, I'm going to take these things that have nothing to do with each other, my record collection and, you know, the draft and the war, and smush them together.
It's definitely based in the Trojan War, Helen of Troy, face that launched 1,000 ships. I was just like, hey, you know what, let's try and tell this story again. And it's actually kind of hard, because people don't go chasing after women with 1,000 ships just because they run off with a cute dude anymore.
Speak for yourself.
So I don't know.
What follows life, and what if you are caught somewhere between being alive and being dead, like my father was, and what do you experience? For people who come back and now tell us about it, I kind of wanted to explore that from a teenager's perspective and see what it would be like if you weren't alone there, and what if the person who was there with you maybe didn't have your best interest in mind.
Where you guys you have a contemporary world and then you destroy it. How do you keep a tether to the contemporary world? Yours is very soon after, right?
Yeah, mine could be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And, you know, the thing about, like, balancing the... Because... Very scared of you now.
Don't bring
A lot of
that
it
here
takes
too.
place downtown. That's where, in the book, the epicenter of the quake is downtown. Because there actually is a really deep fault line that runs through downtown. Right beneath it, so it's a great place. Well, you know, see, that's what I like to use what's real and make it scary. So, you know, when I started researching, I was like, I really hope there is a fault that goes under downtown. Yay, there is! So I can use that, it's real. You know.
So he calls his mom, and the mom says, Ader, that means son in Korean. Ader, what's wrong? Aliens from another dimension forcing me to take job in zoo, want to lock me up in cage like animal. It include 25% overtime? I think so. Take the job! Mom, did you hear anything I just said? They're not human. Don't forget, demand dental and medical coverage. Actually, that's in the basic contract. You sign contract or no come home. But Mom, they want to dehumanize me and strip me of my dignity. What you expect? You apply for a job. And what about Christmas? Interdimensional plane tickets cannot be cheap during the holiday season. Other, job like this only appear once in a lifetime. Mom, a job like this shouldn't appear at all. You take job and come home quick. I make big dinner. We celebrate tonight. Mom, please don't click. And then the mom's like, back in her house, sniff. Our other is all grown up. And then the phone rings again, ring. She says, hello? Hello, this is the editor-in-chief at The New Yorker. Is Andy go there? We'd like to hire him for a cover illustration. Andy no here, he get real job. You no more call here, but click.